Can someone explain to me why IMDb said that Extraction was the original title, but yesterday they had it listed as Out of the Fire, but now it's back to Extraction? Did anyone else catch that? Extraction is the newest Netflix original film. It is directed by Sam Hargrave, who most previously worked on Avengers Endgame, Deadpool 2, and Infinity War, as well as some other MCU films like The Winter Soldier, Civil War, but these are his three most recent films. And the reason I have John Wick back there is because John Wick was like the first film to be directed by an old stuntman, and so is this film. And it tells the story of Tyler Rake, played by Chris Hemsworth, who is a mercenary. This is the definition of that word because I didn't know what it meant before. And he has to save this kid who is kidnapped, and the kid is the son of a big crime lord. So this film has some really badass and deadly stuff. First off, the action is phenomenal. It is some of the best action I've seen of the past few years. Now this film is by no means one of Netflix's best, but the action is by far the best aspect of it, and that is because it is directed by a former stuntman. That really shows here. There is one scene that you will hear about, and I checked on IMDb, it says it lasts for exactly 11 minutes and 30 seconds, and it is this long one take, and it just goes, they're fighting, then they go inside a car, and then they're going through like buildings, and then they go back into another car, and then it ends with this thing exploding, and it blew my mind. This is why now normally when you hear stuntman director you're like weird, but like John Wick was obviously amazing. Now I'm not really comparing like the film to John Wick, because John Wick's obviously better, but this film from an action standpoint is one of the best of recent memory. That one take is one of my favorite scenes of this year, even though I've only seen 4 or 5 films so far. But not only that scene's great, there is this amazing scene. Here's one shot from it, and it is just truly mind-blowing the way that it's shot. Anytime someone lands, the camera will like land with them, and that is just fantastic. Also, Chris Hemsworth is perfectly cast here. I'll talk about a kind of bit about him more in, not him, but his character more in my flaws, but he has this one scene where we kind of learn more about him, and the way that he acts in that scene and gives off his lines is really good, really emotional, and I really like that. Now the action is amazing. Chris Hemsworth is awesome in the film. My problems with the film is that the story is really not above average at all. It's just like this basic, he's got to save this kid, and there's some people who are going to try to stop him. That's basically the entire film. Now it is saved because of these phenomenal action scenes, but there were a bunch of scenes where you're like, okay, can we get back to the action? And also, there's not a ton of character development. The only one that gets some is Chris Hemsworth, and I would like to know more about this kid, because the only thing we learn about him is that when he gets nervous, he kind of, I'm gonna stretch here, he kind of taps his leg like he's playing the piano, and that's really the only thing we learn about him. But Chris Hemsworth's character does get some character development in that one scene, but not a lot. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have a ton to say about this film, surprisingly, even though I haven't reviewed a film, or at least a new release, in a while. But I would say watch this. If that's what you came to this review to know, I'd say check it out. Extraction is a really, not exactly fun movie, but entertaining movie when the action scenes are happening. It would have got elevated to a great level if there was more character development and the story had a few more interesting things. But this film was worth watching for just the action scenes alone, especially that one take. I'm gonna give Extraction a B. As I said, check it out. It's fun. There's like 12 minutes of credits, so it's like an hour and 45 minutes, and it's definitely worth watching. I did really enjoy this film, and I would suggest it. Now, realize what you're going into. If you're not a big action fan, you're not gonna like this film. Now this film it's very violent. Like Chris Hemsworth just like throws people into walls, and there's a scene, this isn't a spoiler, but the scene very early on where someone just throws a child off the top of a building. I'm not even kidding. And yeah, it's something that I would recommend, but just know what you're going into. It is an action film. It's what I would define as a bro film. If we weren't all in quarantine, this is something that I could see a bunch of dudes, like 6 or 7 of them, getting pizza and going to watch this film. But thank you all for watching. Comment down below what you thought of Extraction in the comments. And I will see you guys next time. Over and out.